Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great, and any Final Fantasy fans on Xbox are probably doing great as well, because as I'm sure you all know by now, Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Remake were both confirmed to be coming to Xbox at the showcase. In fact, 16 dropped the same day that they announced it at the showcase, and 7 is coming this winter, which I don't know why it's gonna take that long. It would be funny if it was taking that long because they were also gonna drop Rebirth alongside it, but maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, I don't know. And as expected, since these games were formerly PlayStation exclusive, you have a very small subsect of people on PlayStation who are quite upset that Xbox gamers finally get to enjoy these games. Now, I have to specify, this is a small subsect, because I put up the poll yesterday asking you guys what gameplay you wanted for this video, and I got a bunch of comments from people saying that, oh, as a Final Fantasy fan, we don't care. Bro, there's nobody mad about this. Despite the fact that I clearly said in the poll that it's PlayStation fanboys, which is something people need to distinguish between. Being a fan and being a fanboy are two very different things. When I say fanboys are mad about something, I'm talking about the less than 1%, not normal Final Fantasy or PlayStation gamers. Also, it was pretty funny that people were trying to tell me that nobody was mad about this when, before I even made that poll, I already had these screenshots taken of people being mad about this. Then again, maybe the name of one of these people is actually nobody, so then you could say nobody is mad about this. There you go. But yeah, anyway guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this and watch grown adults get angry that other people get to play video games that they enjoy. So all of these replies come from this tweet, where one of the guys from Square Enix says, "Dear Xbox fans, I'm beyond excited to announce that Final Fantasy 7 Remake is planned for Xbox. Sharing this iconic title alongside Final Fantasy 16 means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough for waiting so patiently. Let's get ready to look forward to Midgar's story together." So you see that, even the people who worked on the game are excited for this game to go to other platforms. Who would have thought? When you make a game, you want as many people as possible to enjoy it and experience what you poured your heart and soul into. But apparently, this is betrayal. Because as this guy says here, Square Enix betrayed PlayStation and their loyal fans to sell out to Xbox. X-Mutts don't even buy games. I mean, it's pretty ironic that we're talking about how Xbox gamers don't buy games when the whole reason Square Enix is doing this multi-platform push is because their games have been underselling when exclusive to PlayStation. So evidently, not enough of you guys have been buying the games either. Also, I don't see how it's a betrayal when they would have made a contract with Sony saying, okay, the game has to be exclusive for this long, and then it can start going to other platforms. Like, they're not betraying anybody, especially not PlayStation. Plus, I love how these guys, and we're gonna talk about this more in a bit, by the way, but I love how these guys always act like whenever a game goes to another platform, that means they are losing it on their platform. You're still able to play Final Fantasy on your PlayStation. It's not like it's gonna disappear because it's going to Xbox. Although, I guess this guy's bragging rights are disappearing, which, let's be real, that's the real issue he has with this. He's just mad he can't use this game to console war anymore, even though the game was never made nor published by PlayStation in the first place, and they just paid to keep it off of Xbox. Alrighty, continuing on. You Xbox players better support this game. Why? Because you PlayStation guys didn't support it enough? Like, buddy, I don't care what your profile picture is. You're not Jotaro. The Xbox guys who wanted the game will definitely support it, but what's gonna happen if they don't? He said it in such a threatening way. You Xbox players better support this game. Or what? To all the Xbox guys out there who aren't gonna buy this game, just know, if you see an extremely buff middle-aged man in a purple outfit watching you across the street, start running. He can only stop time for about 2 seconds. Just stay more than 2 seconds away from him and you'll be safe. Oh man, I gotta get back into watching JoJo's, man. Me and my roommate got through parts 1 through 4 and we started part 5, but then unfortunately the school year ended. What do you guys think the best JoJo part is? Let me know. Anyway, let's get back on topic, shall we? Never touching your games again. Let them stay on PS. I don't care. Well, based on the fact that you made this tweet, you evidently very much do care. But like, does this guy not know that these games were already on PC? Not to mention earlier Final Fantasy games were already on Xbox. Also, have you not been following the news about Square Enix pushing for more multi-platform games? If you're genuinely surprised these games are coming to Xbox, then you just obviously haven't been keeping up. But this is exactly what I was talking about before when I said these guys act like the games are being taken away from them. The dude straight up said, let them stay on PS, I don't care. They are staying on PlayStation. These guys act like if a game is exclusive to a console, that means if it goes to another, it's going to be removed from the previous console. That's not how that works. John Square Enix, at least I'm assuming that's the name of the guy who runs Square Enix, isn't gonna break into your house, hold a gun to your head, and demand your copy of Final Fantasy 7 and 16 just because it's going to Xbox. Also, I just have to say it, if you're gonna never touch a company's game again because they ended a timed exclusivity deal, you're not really a fan of that game. Like, I don't really like to use the whole, oh, you're not a real fan argument, but in this case, it's just true. You're not a fan of the games, you're a fan of the plastic box it's attached to, and you were a fan of the fact that only people who own that plastic box were able to play the game for a while. Why grown adults act like this, I'll never know, because at least if you're a kid, it makes sense. You know, kids obsess over stupid little things that don't actually matter, but the fact that these are grown-ass adults doing this, the way I think about it is, I just imagine if my dad was the one doing this, I would probably move out. Anyway, continuing on. Yeah, no, this sucks. I don't want to play part 3 anymore. Bye. Like I just said, if all it takes for you to stop supporting a franchise is more people getting to play it, you were never a fan of the game in the first place. You probably only played it because it was locked to PlayStation for a while. Hell, I would imagine you probably didn't even actually like the games that much. You just forced yourself to because it was on PlayStation only, and you wanted to justify your purchase of the box or something like that. So I agree. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Or do. It might be kind of funny, honestly.
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
By the way, the YouTube thing coming up was not me. This was a screen recording of a screen recording. God, I love that video so much. The thwack against the garage door is perfection. That's the kind of hit the door on the way out that I want that guy to do. All right, next up. They won't buy it. Well, evidently, Square thinks that they will buy it because, you know, otherwise they wouldn't be spending time and money to make a port of the game. But you know what? Square, honestly, just go ahead and cancel the game. Rodrigo here on Twitter says that they won't buy it. You guys are going to sell 0 copies on Xbox. This is so sad. Honestly, just keep your games exclusive to PlayStation and continue to have underwhelming sales. It's really funny. The people who are like the biggest fanboys for these companies also want them to make the least amount of money possible and will say anything to prevent them from making more money from other platforms. There's like 2 sides to each console fanboy. Not everyone is like this, but a lot of them are. You have the side where they praise their company to no end, and if you're JTech, you call them the greatest gaming company in the world. No, I'm not kidding. He actually said that. And then the other half is demanding they make less money, but they still fully buy and support the games of the companies. It's like, I don't even know how to say it other than they're corporate cocks. That is legitimately the only word I can think of to describe it. They get mad when the company does something they don't like, but they still fully support them. It's just wild. All right, final one for the day. Hopefully Rebirth and Part 3 still stay Sony exclusive. Angry face emoji. Well, you know what? Some points for self-awareness. This dude's profile picture accurately depicts him, but I would not hold my breath on that dude. I don't even think there's a world where it's gonna stay exclusive, because I don't know if Part 3 is gonna be exclusive in the first place. Rebirth is absolutely coming to Xbox, and who's gonna tell him it's already out on PC, so it's not exclusive already. But yeah, it would not surprise me whatsoever if Part 3 was not exclusive in the first place. I bet worst case scenario, Part 3 is gonna be day and date on PC and PlayStation, and then Xbox might have to wait a little bit. But even then, I'm kind of expecting it to go to Xbox on day 1 as well. But dude, Dude, I just don't get it. Hopefully it stays Sony exclusive. Why hopefully? How does that help you in any way? It doesn't negatively affect you if a game goes to other platforms. I guess it negatively affects your console war ammunition, but that's a good thing. I swear to God, it's like taking drugs away from an addict. If we take away these guys' console war ammunition, surely they wouldn't be able to do it anymore, right? Surely they would finally realize that what they're doing is extremely childish and they shouldn't be begging for less people to enjoy games, right? No? Yeah, probably not. We're kind of fading out of the console wars as time goes on. We're moving into, as Alex would say, the platform wars. The console wars finally got the sequel that nobody needed nor wanted, but god damn it, the fanboys on the internet are gonna give it to us anyway. And I cannot wait to see all that play out and talk about it. So yeah, guys, with all that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Salt streams, and join us every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for gaming streams on the gaming channel, and I will catch you all next time.